What's up? What's up? It's your boy BBO Boxing coming to you live. What's up? It's your boy BBO. We got a bunch of things to talk about. I missed yesterday, but we got to talk about a couple things. I'm telling you, man, we got some great things going on in sports in general. I'm really excited about boxing, of course. You got David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant coming up next. This is a huge fight. This will be a great fight. We'll get a chance to see these two young lions, see who's the best guy at 168. So the great thing about this is that when you get this fight, this to me is one of the rare times you do get a 50-50 fight. Um, at first, I thought I was going to go with David Benavidez, but over time, truthfully, I have decided to go with Caleb Plant. I think Caleb Plant's going to win by knockout in the ninth or tenth round. And the reason I said it is I'm really excited about what I'm seeing, what Breadman has done to Caleb Plant. Breadman has done a great job of improving Caleb Plant's punch placement, turning the shots over. Um, Looks like he's always hit pretty precise, but now you got him hitting, with his punches turned over, so he's throwing the punches properly. He's not doing. I mean, he's throwing his bike, but not necessarily as much as he used to. So this is going to be great. Um, so many things you could talk about in this fight. Shout out to my man Big Mike. What's up with you, brother? So many things you could talk about in this fight. I could say I'm real worried about what's going on, man, with my boy David Benavidez being so emotional, and that's honestly why I had to make my choice to say, hey, I don't see him winning because when you emotional like that, that's never a good thing, man. Salute to my man Big Mike. Come on up, bro. Messing with Mike saying he been ducking me, man. But that's just me messing with him. If I don't mess with him, who will? So we got to remember that. But like I said, David has been so emotional. I almost don't recognize him when you see him at that press conference. A lot of people liked it, but to me, I thought that was really, really a bad look for him. Because truth be told, you can't go into a fight, upset like that. The reason I say you can't go to a fight upset like that is because think about how Deontay Wilder fought Tyson Fury. And I'll be honest, Deontay Wilder is my favorite fighter. The third fight, if he was going to win, was going to be the fight that he would dominate. But as you've seen, he was so upset that good piston like jab he had. He really kind of let all his gas out early, and then come later in the fight. Don't get me wrong, Deontay stood tall like a former champion should, but he really, really got took apart because he was so angry. And at the end of the day, in boxing, man, if you're not calm, cool, collected, you can go right to bed. So that's one of the things about boxing I think too many people don't understand. Like you can really, really get hurt in this sport if you don't go in there with a nice solid game plan. And I'm not saying that he won't. I'm just saying that what I'm seeing from Breadman, it just really impressed me. Salute my man Fury beat the ish out of Wilder. He did. And I can say that as probably, I'll be honest, Deontay Wilder is my favorite fighter in boxing today. Um, but truth be told, when he got in there with Tyson Fury, he got totally outclassed. I mean, it is what it is. There's levels to this game. We all know what it takes to win. And I'm just telling you, from what I'm seeing, whether it's with his dad, Jose Benavidez Sr., some of the stuff he's saying to Caleb Plant, it's like this is personal. I don't understand it. We all remember when they was coming up at the same time. They seemed pretty cool. I don't know where this fictitious beef has come from. I don't know what David's thinking, but I'm telling you, this is a recipe for disaster. You can't go into a fight like this and be angry. That's a good way to go to bed. And I'll just keep seeing every press conference, every time he does an interview, he keeps saying, "I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to knock him out." At the end of the day, we all know David Benavidez get hit way too much to be saying something like that against somebody like Plant, who's an educated fighter, who's not going to just be throwing punches, who's not going to just stand there and let him take off on him. And see, that's the thing. That's why I always thought Jamal Charlie for this super long sabbatical he took was going to beat David because David gets hit so much because he wants to stand there and let his hands go. And at the end of the day, the classic cliche or stereotype, whatever you want to call it, David has stone like feet. He doesn't move. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't get out of the way of shots at all. So I mean, the only thing, a reason I never understand why people make such a big deal about that is because I've never seen a Mexican fighter have great feet. I hope my man Mike Biggs can come up here so we can talk about this fight, because I'm really interested in what he thinks on this fight, because that brother really does a great job of breaking down fights, seeing them clearly, unbiased. Because really, unfortunately, man, you get a lot of people biased about fights. But the reason I'm talking about this Caleb Plant Benavidez fight is because it's the fight that's coming up next week. I mean, I'm sure you guys seen Jojo Diaz get totally robbed. I mean, that was a disgrace. Those judges should never judge again. That was a complete disgrace. The fact that they stole that fight from him like that. I'm not saying I haven't seen it before, but Jesus Christ, man, at some point in boxing, man, we got to get our stuff together. You cannot have these blatant, horrible scores, and we supposed to just live with that as the fans. That's retarded. I don't understand what they're doing. I don't understand why they think it's okay to cheat fighters out of their championship or cheat fighters out of these opportunities, because we all know what a loss does. Unfortunately, with this, and it's not Floyd's fault, but with this whole Floyd Mayweather effect going on, where people can't lose, people can't get dropped, people can't get touched. That's why we got so much cowardice in boxing. Just like, something, I got to switch into another topic on this, but people don't want to say it, but Javante Tank Davis is an absolute coward. Tank is a coward. And you say, why you say that, BVU? I say he's a coward because at the end of the day, he's got Ryan Garcia on a freaking rehydration call did to Mario Barrios. Say what you want. At the end of the day, that tells me that you're scared to death. The fact that this kid put a rehydration clause on Ryan, it just tells you, man, this guy's scared to death. But guess what? You ask anybody that's rooting for Tank, oh no, Tank's gonna roll him. Yeah, right. If he's gonna roll him, he would have not had a rehydration clause. No one wants to speak about the truth, and that's the thing I hate about boxing. I care about the sport more than I do any boxer. Don't get me wrong, I love and support my favorites, whether it's Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Deontay Wilder, Tyson the Gypsy King. You can name them. All the guys, I support them. But at the end of the day, man, I cannot support this type of crap. When you got these fighters, man, putting up these bull crap things because they scared. And that's all you can say, man. That boy Tank is scared. Why is he scared of Ryan Garcia? You heard him at the press conference say, "All you got is a hook. All you got is this." He want to tell everybody how limited a fighter Ryan is, but you got a rehydration clause. That's the cowardice stuff I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, man. Like, that's coward talk. But no one wants to call it out. Everybody seems to just be cool because it's Tank. And to be honest, I love Tank too. But you got to call out what you see, man. A spade is a spade. At the end of the day, I didn't like some of the stuff De La Hoya was doing. De La Hoya is one of my favorite fighters. I didn't like some of the stuff Floyd used to do, but I would call it out. I'm never so much of a fanboy, or I like to call it as a meat boy, that I won't call out what I see. At the end of the day, I'm telling you, man, it's ridiculous. This guy supposedly only has one punch, but you got a rehydration clause? Everything that Floyd Mayweather said that he was going to have with this fight happened. So what are we talking about now? What are we talking about now? We're talking about the fact that this guy Tank runs around here like he's some type of thug, some type of bully, some type of crazy man. He gonna do this and that, like he freaking B Hop or Ernie Shavers. Yeah, like he gonna do all this to run. But guess what? Guess what? Guess who has a rehydration clause? Guess who was scared to death to fight him at 140? At the end of the day, he let Mario Barros come in there nice and comfortable at 140. But no one wants to talk about the rehydration clause. And see, that's the stuff I'm talking about. That's the stuff that makes me sick about boxing, because everybody wants to do all stupid stuff where they want to have their boy on who they think is good, who is this and who is that, but you don't want to talk without no bias, man. At the end of the day, man, that's that Skip Bayless bull crap. That's one of the things I can say. I hate that he brought that into sports in general. This whole overly critical, or I won't say nothing at all. And at the end of the day, the fact that people won't say anything about Tank Davis, the supposed boogeyman of the division, having a rehydration clause on him, come on. Come on. Ryan's not even as big as Mario Barris, I don't think. So, I mean, come on, dude. I think Mario Barris is fighting at 147 right now. Ryan ain't ready for 147. But this the same guy who, after he fought you, goes to 147, and you put a freaking rehydration clause on him because he's scared to death. Nobody wants to speak the truth in boxing. The guy is scared to death. But I tell you this: the cool thing about this fight is that you got two young, hungry champions, and I'm excited about Tank because Tank has such a great ring IQ. The guy really, finds out what's gonna happen early on in the fight, and then Tank goes off, comes back with a game plan. And I'll be honest, I am nervous because Tank's IQ is really second to none in boxing. The guy knows the ring, the guy knows where he's at in the ring, his placement, how he moves, how he throws his punches. And the cool thing about the whole Esau Cruz fight was that's the first time a lot of boxing fans got to see how great a pair of feet Tank has. Tank has amazing feet. The kid can move. He knows how to fight. He can fight off the back foot. He can do a lot of great things. And I'm just telling you, when it comes to this fight, this is going to be a huge fight for Tank both. There's going to be opportunity to see who's the best. And I'm telling you, if you listen back to this playlist, say you listen to this podcast, just think about it. Ryan Garcia and Tank are really fighting their primes. It's been so long. It's been so long since we ain't two young fighters fighting their prime. And this is exciting because you know what? I don't know if you like me. I'm so tired of all the old head boxing fans telling us, back in my day, back in my day, they did up. I don't care what they did. At the end of the day, those dudes ain't fighting. I don't want to know what's going on with the guys fighting right now. At the end of the day, the fact that Tank and Ryan are being fearless and saying, you know what, put the records aside, put the fan stuff aside, let's get in here and let's see who's the best. And the thing is, that's very De La Hoya like. That's some De La Hoya stuff to go in there like what Ryan is doing and saying, you know what, he's been screaming, I want Tank. I see something. I'm going to hurt him. I'm going to stop him in 2 rounds. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And at the end of the day, we all know Ryan had he never could have because at the end of the day, he can beat Devin Haney. He could have easily just took the Devin Haney fight, knocked Devin Haney out, and then moved on and said, "Hey, Tank, you ain't got no belt. I don't want to fight you. You ain't got no belt." But no, Ryan is in there 2 feet down saying, "You know what? I want this fight." And again, like I said, because I don't want to sound too biased, the fact that Tank is like, you know what? This fast, he's strong, and I gotta go in there as the patient, more experienced fighter and come up with a game plan to come out victorious. And I'm telling you, my huge thing, other than some of the physical differences that Ryan has, some of the physical advantages, Tank's eye worries me. But I'm telling you, I don't believe Calvin Ford is a better trainer than Joe Goosen. Let's be honest. Joe Goosen, every time he's spoken with fighters, they always come back very, very much improved. When Ryan was with Eddie Reynoso, we all know he had his flaws. He had a lot of things that he needed to work on. He had a lot of things that didn't look right. But guess what? Guess what? Now we got to see him in there with a really good trainer in Joe Goosen. Everybody crack on Joe Goosen because he always got his jean suit on with his leg crossed. And really, I love to hear Joe Goosen behind the mic. He got a great boxing mind. And I think that's going to be the difference. He's going to come in there very, very focused, ready to make something happen. And that's all you can ask for. When you see a young fighter coming here being fearless, saying, "Hey, I want this fight. I want to make this happen. I don't care what you want to do. You want to put a rehydration clause on me. You want to do whatever you want to do. Go ahead and do it because I'm fearless. I want this fight. I want to make it happen." And I'll tell you what, at the end of the day, Sugar Shakur ain't making this fight happen. Devin, the Dream Haney ain't making this fight happen. And you know what? Devin Haney is a great fighter. And I got to give Devin Haney some love. The fact that Devin Haney left a very, very comfortable position at the zone where he was probably getting $2, $3 million a fight to take less, fight George Kambosos, and go to Australia twice, beat him twice in his backyard. You know what? Hats off to that kid. I haven't given got a chance to give Devin Haney his credit for being fearless, man. That's what you talk about when you say you a great champion. This guy got all the belts, and guess what? He said, "I'm going right to Loma." So you know what, man? Can I really say anything too bad about Devin? No. Lomachenko. I think he's the first guy I ever heard of getting 2 belts emailed to him. But at the end of the day, hey, the email champion did do some fear. I gotta give him credit for it. But the thing that got me was when Devin Haney said, you know what? I don't want to fight Sugar Shakur right now, even though we're on the same side of the street. I want to fight Sugar Shakur at 147. And anybody knows Sugar Shakur is not the biggest man. He might be the same height as Devin Haney, but he is not. Look at his frame. He is not the biggest man you ever seen. I think he came all the way up from 126. So when he does get a belt, it's going to be a three division champion because unlike most, that boy Sugar Shakur go after super champions. He got Jamel Herring on his record, Oscar Valdez on his record. Come on, man, this guy Sugar Shakur is really doing his thing. I'm so proud to see this kid, moving up. And you can honestly say at 135, who has a better resume than Sugar Shakur? And Sugar Shakur hasn't even fought then yet, hasn't even fought at the division yet. But he has a great resume, and all he's going to keep doing because he's gotten to the game so young is keep adding fights, keep adding names to his fights. And I cannot wait to see it. The cool thing about it is this guy Ryan really has a huge opportunity. So say like in my opinion, I think Loma's gonna beat Devin. So when Loma beats Devin, he'll be the undisputed champion. I'm sure there's gonna be a rematch clause. Just think of this. So say the winner of Tank versus Ryan, that person goes and fights Sugar Shakur after this fight. And then the winner of that takes on the undisputed champion. See, the cool thing about boxing is everything can line up, but guys got to be willing to take these fights. It can't be this coward stuff like what your boy Tank is doing, talking about, I want a rehydration clause, I want this and that. Man, are you the best or are you not? It's just that simple, man. Are you the best or are you not? So it just boils down to that. And I'm telling you, I just can't wait to see what's going on with these big fights. I'm super excited about seeing David Benavidez go head up with Caleb Plant. He's been screaming like he wants to get his hands on this guy. I can't wait to see it. Because really, I tell you what, I seen that big baby versus Lucas Brown. Lucas Brown is clearly over the hill. Lucas Brown clearly is not what he never. To me, he was never that good of a fighter. He was pretty good. He was never that good a fighter. But I digress and say, you know what? Anybody that gets in the ring, you got to give credit to. But I say the way he got beat up by a bum like Gerald Miller, a cheating drug cheat bum like him. You know what, dude? I hope that guy I wish that guy the best, man. Cause I've never seen a fighter as goofy as Jamel Big Baby. Cause at the end of the day, man, this dude had it all. Fighting for the zone, about to fight Anthony Joshua. In a fight I thought he was a live dog in because we all know Anthony Joshua was very chinny. So he was a it was a fight he had a chance in. And somehow, as you know, Gerald Jarrell Miller, whatever his name is, what did he do? Pop dirty 3 times. Like, who does that? Who purposely goes into the ring to cheat? Anybody that's cheating in boxing, I don't care if you cheat in track, I don't care if you cheat in basketball, I don't care if you cheat in football. But any sport where you hitting somebody in the head, you should not be using steroids. I believe steroids are acceptable for every other profession and sports except boxing or UFC. Any type of combat sports, you don't need any type of that. You don't need any of those things because that's very dangerous. Somebody could lose their life, whatever the case may be. But I tell you this, I just never see a guy go from fighting on the zone, say what you want about the zone, that's a big platform, to fighting pretty much now like on a YouTube against a has been or almost a never was in Lucas Brown. I can't remember offhand. I think he won a championship, but Lucas Brown would never be mistaken for anybody's, dangerous competitive fighter. I mean, nobody was mistaken for that. And it's just so crazy to see how far Big Baby done fell, man. Then you got some guy we never heard of in life calling him out in the middle of the ring saying he want to fight. And I'm thinking at the end of the day, bro, you might as well fight him, you bum, and get some money because at the end of the day, you're never going to be back in big time boxing. Failing 3 tests, you about to fight at the Madison Square Garden. You actually about to fight at home against the champion. You're from New York, about to fight at home, and you bum. You came up dirty. You always been dirty. He was dirty when he was a kickboxer. Now he's dirty now. And it's just funny, man, because too many times in combat sports, man, you got these dirty bastards, man, out here who really want to hurt somebody. And you cannot tell me that it's acceptable to use performance enhancing drugs when you're talking about hitting somebody in the head. Now we all know NFL football. I totally agree. Get your deer antler spray like Ray Lewis. Get your clenbuterol to cut weight. Whatever the case may be, but in the sport of boxing, there should be no tolerance for performance enhancing drugs. Like the whole thing we got now with Conor Ben, I think it's a travesty that this guy's gonna be back in the ring this fast. It's a travesty. And the funny thing is this: then you got a piece of trash like Eddie Hearn making it seem like it's okay. Oh, it's out of my hands. It's not in my hands. It's up to the WBC. Shut up, man. You know full fact this kid needs to be suspended for at least 12 months. The fact that this guy, man, look what he did to Chris Algieri. I mean, come on, dude. We never seen Chris Algieri get beat like that, man. But he's juicing, and this ain't the first time that we keep hearing people involved with Eddie Hearn popping dirty. Dillian White, when he fought, I think it was Rivera, pop dirty. It's just an ongoing thing with Eddie Hearn, man. This guy is a dirt bag. He's bad for the sport. He's not like his father. He needs to be out of the sport because I just keep seeing dirty guy after dirt bag come from behind Eddie Hearn. Say what you want. You're not hearing this too much from Uncle Bob. You're not hearing about too much steroids with Uncle Bob. I mean, don't get me wrong. When he had the Pac-Man, we all know. I don't want to speak on it, but we all know there was some foul play going on because Manny Pacquiao went from sperm weight at like 110 all the way up to 154 and didn't lose an ounce of power. I don't know. One thing I thought about too that's funny when Manny Pacquiao fought Adrian Brawner said, "Yeah, I'm gonna test you. You're gonna get tested. We're gonna make sure we test you." Turn around when Keith Thurman's fighting him, he said, "Oh, you don't have to get a test. You can do whatever you want." Keith, I mean, Pac-Man looked like the old Pac-Man against Keith Thurman, but then turn around when he fought Adrian Brawner, he looked like an old man. At the end of the day, the man's doing something. Something's going on in that case. I don't know what it is, but something's going on. But I'll tell you this, man, it's just so funny in boxing, man, because nobody ever wants to stand up like a man and call out what they see. Everybody wants to try to ride the wave, act like it's okay when guys cheat, when guys do the wrong thing. And I'm telling you, man, that's what's killing the sport. You cannot have these guys cheating like this. It's messing the whole sport up. It really is, man. But that's enough of me talking about that. I'm excited about these big fights. I hear about Errol Spence being back in the ring. A lot of people say it's going to be for Keith Thurman. A lot of people say it's going to be for Terrence Crawford. I don't know. Either way it goes, I really do. I'll be honest, I do want to see Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence because this fight to me it should have happened maybe 3 4 years ago. But I really would be happy to see it because Terrence Crawford is a really nice fighter. When you watch him, his aggression, his power, that nasty attitude he has, and when I say nasty, I mean he wants to get after it. When I'll never forget when he was fighting Jose Benavidez Jr. and he said, "Oh, your mama's a bee," blah blah blah, and flipped the table over trying to get to him. And then when he got in the ring, don't get me wrong, Jose Benavidez did have some lead in his leg. He did have a little lead in his leg, but guess what? When he got in the ring, he totally destroyed him. And that's so rare, man, for a boxer to tell you he's gonna do something to you and go in there and do it. And that's why I do love Bud Crawford. But I'm telling you, he gonna get in there with Errol Spence, who's a different animal. The only thing that ever worries me about Errol Spence is that I always hear his trainer say, "Man, you gotta stay focused, get back in the lab." And that's the thing. The world is at Errol's feet. There's nothing that Errol can't do. He just needs to be more active and he needs to make sure that he's doing his best to stay out of trouble. Say what you want. I done heard a bunch of people in my comments say, "Oh, he's a drunk. He's this, that, and the third." Okay, cool. At the end of the day, you're perfect. You never made no mistakes. So you want to kill on this kid for some stuff that he did. Yeah, I don't think it's good he was driving drunk. No, I don't think it was good that keep getting caught up in BS. But at the end of the day, things happen. Just like when he's driving, some kid steals their parents' car, crashes into him. And thank God he was in a bulletproof car, so nothing happened. So that pushed him back even more. And at the end of the day, guess what, guys? The years fly when you're over 20, man. It's just that simple. Once you're over 21, pretty much once you got a high school or college, man, mainly high school, you realize that these days fly. So before you know it, it'll be 6 months. And before you know it, it's the end of the year. That's how fast the time goes. Think about it, guys, right now. We in March 19th. Did we realize we'd be in March 19th this fast? We're in the middle of March. We're in the middle of March already. Can you believe it? That's how fast time moves. And I think sometimes guys don't understand. Like when I used to hear the old folks say, "Hey, you don't got as much time as you think, bro." It's the truth. Because at the end of the day, man, think about it. At the end of this year, Errol's supposed to be 33. I mean, come on, how many more big fights do you have? Everybody's not Floyd. Everybody's not gonna look that good that old. Like I remember when Floyd cooked Canelo, man. I mean, Floyd was almost 40 years old and cooked him. I'm telling you, I know for a fact everybody can't do that because at the end of the day, Floyd Mayweather took great care of his body. Not good care, great care of his body. And that's one of the reasons why Floyd lasted so long. But I'm telling you, Errol Spence got to get focused. He got to get in the gym and he got to get some fights under his belt. The fact is, the man has fought 3 times in the last 3 years, and it's the same thing for Terrence Crawford. These guys are not as young as they used to be. And I'll be honest, if they wait, I'll put it like this: if another year goes by, say 2023 goes by, I don't want to see him fight in 2024 because that's a has-been fight. Then you got guys 36 and 34 fighting, and you know what? This sucks for Virgil Ortiz, Jerron Boots Ennis, all these young guys, man. Hold on. Salute to my man MGB. He's speaking facts now. I'll be honest. I'm telling you, man, if another year goes by, man, I'm not trying to see that fight. These would be two old guys. At the end of the day, even when Manny Pacquiao fought Floyd, man, let's not lie, bro. Man, he wasn't the Pac-Man no more. And Floyd he still was nice, but he wasn't Money Mayweather that fought Sugar Shane Mosley. He wasn't that Floyd. And people talk about, the couple of hits that he got hit with early on in that fight, but Floyd was dominant. You hear me, man? Floyd was dominant when he back then. But by the time he got in the ring with Pac-Man, he was old. They both were old. Like even if you see Floyd, I remember seeing Floyd when he fought Conor McGregor. He looked kind of old. Yeah, he looks like a boxing savant against YouTubers and guys who have no chance. But if you put him in there with a Bud Crawford, a Errol Spence, somebody who can really hurt him, it's a different story. So I want these guys to either fight, either poop or get off the pot, because at the end of the day, it's holding up the whole division. We want to see Virgil Ortiz stop Jerron Ennis. We want to see Boots Ennis get in there and maybe have a trilogy with Virgil Ortiz. Maybe he can win. Who knows? We won't know until we see it. But we just keep getting all this rigmarole, all this talking, all these fake fights. Like you got your boy Terrence Crawford talking about, oh, I offered Jerron Ennis to come fight me on BLK Prime, and I know he signed to Showtime. Dude, that's cap. You know he wasn't going to take that fight. That's just you trying to position yourself to look like you want to fight great talent and you don't. Let's be real. Terrence Crawford has not fought anybody of note. You want to say, I'm not going to take away. He beat Sean Porter. He did. He beat Sean Porter. He did. Sean Porter took a big loss against Errol Spence, beat a young bum slash prospect. I think his name was Sebastian something. Then he went ahead and fought Terrence Crawford. And let's be honest, Sean Porter's heart was not into that fight because we all heard about the rumblings between him and his father. The thing, and if you don't believe me, think about this. When Sean Porter retired, he didn't even let his dad know. That's how pissed he was about some things that was going on. Because let's be honest here, man. Sean Porter's dad, Kenny Porter, who was an excellent trainer, I hope to see him continue to train guys. He just really made it too much about himself. It's the same thing that happened with Buster Douglas and his father. Sometimes you can have your father train you if you got like a um, Floyd Mayweather's dad. If you got a Floyd Mayweather senior, maybe you can have your father train you, but it don't always work. Think about one of my favorite training combos that people forget about is when Roy Jones had his dad. It don't always work, man. And then you think about the story later on. Roy Jones told his dad, I guess his dad killed a dog in his yard. And what did Roy say? Next time you kill something in my yard, make sure you're ready to die with it. So they didn't have the best relationship at all. But that's the funny thing about boxing, man. It's just like any other sport. You got your good, you got your bad, you got your drama, you don't. It is what it is. The funny thing about that makes me laugh about boxing is we just keep running into the same thing where guys don't want to take a chance and fight the people they need to be fighting. And to be honest with you, man, I'm super tired of it. I'm tired of having the same conversation. Man, I was talking about Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence in November, December. And think about it now, we in March. Haven't heard a word. We're in March. Think about that, guys. We in March, haven't heard a word. So what is going on in that case? We in March. I've been talking about this fight for well over 6 months, maybe 5 months, and we still haven't heard a peep on what's happening. When is the fight going to be made? What are these guys going to do? Are they going to get in the ring? Are they not? Whatever. And it's just so funny because in boxing, it's almost like we're supposed to accept this. And that's exactly why the UFC is growing. That's why the UFC can't be stopped. And that's why if we don't do something, YouTube is going to become a side. I mean, not YouTube, but sorry, boxing is going to become a sideshow because that's what it's starting to be now. I mean, you got Salt Poppy and KSI. You even got the YouTube guys ducking each other. KSI is talking about, oh, I don't want to fight Salt Poppy because my team told me not to. At the end of the day, let's just be honest here. These guys are too concerned about money. At the end of the day, like they say, if you want to fight, salute to my man Keys to the game. Keys to the game, come on up, bro. That's my brother right there. Um, but at the end of the day, man, if you want to fight, if you want to be great, man, just go out there and do it. And I'm telling you, hearing too many guys talk about they want to be great, they want to be champions, whatever the case may be, but they won't do what they need to do to be champions or to be great fighters. They just don't do what it takes. At the end of the day, man, too much in boxing. All we hear in boxing is excuses. Oh, I didn't take that fight because of this. Oh, I didn't take that fight because of that. I mean, think about it. We don't have an undisputed champion. And we've been talking about having undisputed champion since 2015. We're in 2023 and we still haven't had a undisputed heavyweight champion. It's all BS. It's all stupid. It's the games that we keep hearing. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way in. Smash the like button for your boy BBO. Um, it just, I'll tell you what, man. It's just super frustrating, man. It's so super frustrating dealing with how these guys are moving, man. It's really killing the sport. We got to have some more fearless guys like Ryan, like a Tank, that's willing to take the big fights because, dude, like I said, it's gonna be a freaking sideshow because we keep hearing YouTubers garnering way more attention than any boxer, Come on, you got a guy like Terrence Crawford talking about, well, I was fighter of the year. No duh, you on ESPN. You think ESPN, what's in business against um against the other promoters is going to put somebody else as they pound for pound, just like they created Inoue. I think Inoue is going to hurt Cool Boy Step. I think Inoue might be the one guy in a long time that old media was right about. I really think so because switching to another gear, when I think about Inoue, Monster Inoue, this dude walked to the bigger man and Stephen Fulton and said, "Hey, I want that fight, bro. Before you go to 126, I want to fight me and you. Let's do it. You're a two belt champion. I'm an undisputed champion in the weight class right below you, and I want to fight you now, not tomorrow, not tomorrow, right now." And that's the funny thing, but nobody talks about that. I can guarantee you, if Inoue had waves and a beard, it would be different. So let's not play like it's not double standards on both sides, man. Guys don't keep it real about what's going on in this sport, man. We getting too many fanboys, meat boys in the sport that's really ruining it. And I'm telling you, man, the funny thing about boxing is guess what? It's one of those rare sports where you got to go out there and prove it. You can say what you want, but you got to go out there and prove it. But another fight that we got to talk about before I forget is your boy Tyson the Gypsy King Fury versus your man Alexander Usyk. And it's laughable how scared to death the Tyson Fury is of this guy, because Tyson Fury knows this will be the first guy in his career that's a complete fighter that he's beaten. Because I take that back, it'll be the second guy because I believe Dillian White was a complete fighter. But the fact is this: he beat Klitschko, who was jab, jab, right hand. Okay, he beat him. Then he beat Deontay Wilder, my favorite fighter, who really is right hand or nothing. It's just that simple. He either right hand, athleticism to use the right hand, boom or nothing. And he beat him. Then he goes and beats Dillian White, who was a pretty good fighter. I don't want to take nothing away from Dillian White. I actually like Dillian White because Dillian White is a really nice fighter, man. Knocks him out. Okay. And now he has against to get this guy Usyk, who came up from cruiserweight. Now he's a heavyweight champion. He came up and now he's taking on all bums. Beat the life out of Anthony Joshua. Beat Anthony Joshua so bad. Anthony Joshua finally understands he had to get a different trainer that can help him. And I'll be honest, I thought Robert Garcia did a solid job with Anthony Joshua, but Anthony Joshua said, you know what? Let me get who I think is the best trainer in the game, and that's Derek James. So he gets with Derek James. We're gonna see what happens. And I just believe if they don't allow Tyson Fury to lay and hold Usyk, Usyk's going to get him out of there because Tyson Fury, if you watch him, he's shown a bunch of times to be very, very vulnerable. He can go to bed. He has a chin. People say, "Oh no, he don't. He didn't been knocked down." No, when you get knocked down, that shows that you do have a chin because the whole thing of having a chin is not getting hit on it. That's the whole thing. But when he gets in there and fights Usyk, he's up, man. He's gonna have both hands full, and maybe even his head. He might, ever had to hold something with your head so it don't fall. He gonna have both hands full because Usyk is a very elusive, smart, um, I won't say super powerful, but he has a nice little pop on his punch. He has enough where you got to respect what he's doing. So he's gonna get in there with him, and he's gonna really be tested. He's gonna have to find out, is he the Gypsy King like he says he is? Because at the end of the day, whenever you hear people say stuff like, "Oh, Tyson Fury will beat Muhammad Ali," no way, no way, because Muhammad Ali would have been knocked out. Usyk, he would have been knocked that bum out. It's just that simple. It's not the same type of guy. I think Muhammad Ali had 3 times he won 10 title defenses. So let's not play like this guy is on that level. He's not. He's a great fighter. I love Tyson Fury. I love the gimmicks he play. There's only one Tyson Fury. I love that. But when you get into the ring with these complete fighters, it's a different game. And I think he's going to be tested to the gills. I think that's why you see him on social media making a big fuss saying, if I don't get this, if I don't get that, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, he need to get in there with him, beat Usyk, and then go right to Joe Joyce and say, you need to come get some for Christmas. Me and you, November, Christmas time. Let's get this going. And that will be huge. Just imagine if he can beat Usyk, if you went and fought your boy Joe Joyce at the O2 Arena in the UK, that would be amazing. That would be huge, man. That would do so many numbers, man. Because I'm telling you, even my favorite fighter, Deontay Wilder, hasn't spoke Joe Joyce's name up because he knows better. He knows better. Even my favorite fighter knows, hey, that boy Joe Joyce, he'll change you, man. Because I never seen anybody beat Parker the way he beat Parker like that was his son. So we just got to get a guy credit where credit's due, man. He beat that brother like he was his son. So I'm just excited about that fight. I'm excited about the overall styles that we getting in overall fights we getting in boxing. I think this might be the biggest year we had in a long time. And let's not forget we had Jamal Charlo come out of his cave and comment on Plant versus Benavidez, and he told Plant, he said he's going with Plant. You know what I want Jamal Charlo to do? Shut up and fight. Whatever you going through, I'm praying for you, praying for your family, because it seemed way more personal than he's a letting on. It seemed like it's a real personal matter he's dealing with. I'm really, and I mean that all jokes aside, I'm definitely praying for him and his family because boxing is just for entertainment. Your family, as me being a family man, being married for 9 years, I know it's not easy. It's not easy to be a family man. And you know what? A lot of people don't like to hear this, but as us as black men, Spanish men, man, forget it. Us as men in general, black, white, Chinese, whatever the case is, when you want to be married, there's certain sacrifices that you have to make. There's certain things that you have to do. And I'm telling you, whatever that needs to be done, I hope Jamal Charlo can do that. I hope him and his wife can figure out whatever they got to figure out so we can see this young guy in the ring because he's a great champion. I think he's like my same age. He's 32. He got a lot left, and I really would hate to see him lose his legacy over some BS that could have been easily avoided. I'll just tell you this, man. We got to have a little bit more care for some of these guys because, man, I don't know. Every time I see Jamal Charlo, man, I maybe it's wrong of me to say this, but he always sounds drunk. I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm sure some of you guys seen an interview with Adrian Broner on $1 million worth of game. Something's going on here, man, when these guys are on these substances, man. Whether it could be food, it could be alcohol, it could be hardcore drugs. At the end of the day, man, it's very, very important, man. If you need help, get some help, man. Don't just sit there and whatever you doing and not getting no help. And I can say for me personally, I've understood how important it is to get that help, man, because you don't want to put yourself in a bad situation because you were too big or too whatever to go get some help. And that's just what it is, man. But enough of that praying for Jamal Charlo, but shut up and fight, punk. Either you gonna fight or you need to shut up until you're ready to fight because I ain't seen him in almost 2 years. And you got the nerve to speak on the Mexican monster. Shut your mouth and get in the ring. Because at the end of the day, no one wants to call it out. He had no desire to fight the Mexican monster. So shut your mouth unless you want to get in the ring, you bum. It's just that simple. If you don't want to get in the ring, shut up. You not in the ring, I don't want to hear nothing you saying. I mean, because it's just that simple. I mean, I hope that if Jamal comes back, he need to go fight David Morrell. Go beat Morrell. Show us that you still the same guy you were when you fought Julian J. Rock Williams years ago. Let's see if you still that same young champion, that same young guy. We were all, let's be honest, we all were excited about Jamal Charlo, man, and he really let us all down. He really did. He let us all down because he never came to be what we thought he could be. But I'm gonna tell you this, switching things. I can't wait to see Jamel Charlo totally crush. He's gonna crush Tim Zoo. Tim Zoo doesn't have an opportunity to beat him. There's no way that Tim Zoo can beat Jamel Charlo. That's not happening. I don't see that happening on a good day. Tim Zoo beat Tony Harrison, who really should be just training only. But hey, it is what it is. And I just don't see him having, I don't see any way that Tim Zoo will have any type of shot at beating Jamel Charlo. Because to me, Jamel Charlo is my pound for pound number one on the pound for pound list because, man, the guy did the most, beat a lot of tough competition. Erickson Lubin, um, Rosario, who had beat Julian J. Rock Williams. Julian J. Rock Williams beat Jared Swift Hurd. Only person I really want to see Jamel Charlo go against is Christian Fondor because Christian Fondor is just like an anomaly. This guy is 6'6", fighting at 154. You hear what I'm saying? 6'6", fighting at 154. There's a huge chance that at some point you're going to see Christian Fondor go up to light heavyweight. That's how big this guy can be. Maybe heavyweight. I doubt heavyweight, but maybe. And I'm telling you, this guy's a different animal. That's the one fight that I want to see. I want to see if Jamel Charlo can beat Christian Fondor. And once he does that, I'll be honest, man. Honestly say, even if he don't get that fight, I think he will get it. I really will put Jamel Charlo as the greatest super welterweight champion. I think he actually took that spot from the great Winky Wright. I think now he is the greatest fighter at 154. And I don't want to, and I'm not trying to take nothing away from the great Winky Wright. We all remember the FUBU commercials. Winky Wright was my dog, man. Winky Wright, the first dude to make Floyd Mayweather duck. And even though a lot of people don't want to keep it real, and that's the thing. You got to keep it real, man. Call it what it is, man. That boy Floyd signed a contract at 154 to fight my man Winky Wright. And guess what? The fight never happened. Why is that? Because Winky Wright was going to hurt him. It's just that simple. I believe Winky Wright the same dude that hurt my man Mosley. So Winky Wright was us dog. He was special, man. And you know what? It's just so funny when you think about that. And I'm not trying to take nothing away from Floyd because Floyd came from 126 all the way to 154 and really was fighting guys who were 20 and 30 pounds bigger than him. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a dog, Floyd. I'm just calling it what it is. But you know what? It's your boy BBO Boxing, man. I'm about to get out of here, man. I love all you guys. I appreciate all the love you guys show. We rebuilding the channel. I was stupid, put up a stupid video, got a warning. So now I'm dealing with that, trying to build back from the ground up. But with you guys, the most important people, you guys are the reason why I do this. And I'm telling you, man, with you guys, we're gonna get right back to where we were. It's BVO Boxing, the unbiased king of boxing, man. We only talking about real fights, no games, no meat boys, none of that. And I tell you what, and I say I'm gone. It's your boy BBO Boxing. Peace. Thanks for coming. And if you're coming back on this, looking at this live, man, don't forget to like, subscribe, share. It's your boy BBO Boxing. Peace.